71. The courage to be vulnerable. As I floated through the first half of 2022, my spirit soared with an uncontainable joy. Becoming Mrs. Elmarie Arnold was like being wrapped in a warm golden light. Every moment felt sacred, every breath filled with promise. The world seemed to vibrate at a higher frequency, as if the very fabric of reality had shifted. With a gentle whisper of my new surname, I stepped under the Arnold umbrella, and a whole new destiny unfolded like a masterpiece. The brushstrokes of fate painted a vibrant tapestry, weaving together connection, laughter, and adventure. I felt the gentle rustle of leaves, signaling a new season of growth as I embarked on this uncharted path. Keith and I had now been woven together for 3 years, our bond strengthened by the depths of our conversations. We dive into the tapestry of our pasts, sharing the struggles and hardships that had once defined us, and marvel at how far we'd come. Our emotions swelled with gratitude and blessing, knowing that life had led us to each other. We both felt that divinity had saved its most exquisite gift for last. A connection that not only healed our scars, but illuminated our futures. And we knew, with every fibre of our beings, that the best was yet to unfold. End of June, Keith and I returned from Europe, where we reunited with Esther Marie and her husband, the same young man she'd serendipitously met in Dubai during my 2020 visit. The pandemic's flight groundings had altered her path, leading her to resign and join him in his European homeland, where they married the previous year. We'd missed celebrating with them due to travel restrictions, but were grateful to finally reconnect. Our visit to Europe marked a devastating turning point in my relationship with Esther Marie. A painful incident erupted between Keith and Esther Marie, escalating strain and spilling over into our own relationship. The rift between us seemed insurmountable, as if an unbridgeable chasm had opened. As I reflected on the turmoil, I sensed a dual reality. On one hand, I recognized the challenges of navigating new dynamics and life stresses. Yet, on the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that a sinister, unseen force lurked in the shadows, deliberately sabotaging my relationships with loved ones, especially my children. This dark presence seemed to suffocate me, threatening to destroy the very bonds I held dearest. We celebrated Esther Marie's 25th birthday, but it was not a happy, carefree one. The underlying thread of conflict was thick and heavy, stretched thin, like it could snap at any moment. Upon returning to the farm, Keith and I immersed ourselves in raw, soul-wrenching conversations about our complicated relationships with our daughters. The synchronicity was striking. Keith's estranged daughter, just a couple of years older than Esther Marie, shared the same birthday, a mysterious thread weaving their stories together. As we delved deeper, our discussions unfolded like a tender yet anguish-filled dance. Keith's estrangement from his son also weighed heavily on his spirit. Together, we navigated the labyrinthine paths of our past, confronting wounds of trauma and embracing vulnerability. Our soulful, spirit-to-spirit exchanges were a sanctuary of compassion and understanding. In those moments, our connection deepened, our emotions reflecting each other's hurt and resilience. The space between us dissolved, leaving only an expansive emotional intimacy. Our openness and honesty forged an unbreakable bond, a testament to the transformative power of shared vulnerability. One morning, soon after we had returned, I found Keith in his recliner chair in the lounge, where he had gone very early that morning to do a meditation. He was in tears, and I immediately sensed that he had had a divine encounter, an epiphany. Overcome by deep emotion, he relayed to me, "Sweetie, I've just realized this morning that I had been addicted to rejection my whole life. I had drawn people and circumstances to me that reinforced that belief. That is part of what happened with Esther Marie in Europe. But today, I'm changing, sweetheart. I've laid the burden of rejection down, and from now on, I am going to embrace inclusivity, freedom, and affection. I want to grow in spirit and in soul to become the best possible version of me." That was such a breakthrough for Keith, and I felt a surge of possibility. The expectation of reconciliation with Esther Marie coursed through my body. Yet, despite numerous apologies and pleas for reconciliation, Esther Marie's replies were noticeably absent, leaving Keith's emails and messages unanswered. I felt deeply saddened by this turn of events. Upon arriving at their home, we were blessed with a thoughtful gift: Kindle readers, carefully placed on our pillows. My spirit had swelled with gratitude, and I had envisioned a wonderful time filled with connection, laughter, and joy. Yet, once again, I was left perplexed and exhausted by the inexplicable turmoil. The wheels seemed to spin out of control, fueled by my inability to convey to Esther Marie the hope, joy, and jubilation in my spirit. I envisioned an amazing new life unfolding, but instead I stood with empty hands, unfulfilled longings, shattered dreams, and dashed hopes.